I'm Ryan Mahan. Coming up on News 25, a tragic explosion occurred today at Omega Protein in Moss Point. We'll have the details for you later tonight.
I'm Katerina Lukatich. Coming up on News 25, the Humane Society of South Mississippi is working to keep ties with the city of Gulfport.
I'm Melissa Meisner. Coming up on News 25, this area could soon become the small craft harbor with the port of Gulfport.
You're watching Wxxv News 25, your local choice at 5:30. With Jennifer Tubwell, Joe Sullivan, and Nick Patrick.
One person died and 3 others were injured in an explosion at a fish processing plant in Moss Point.
A storage tank at Omega Protein exploded around 9:30 this morning. News 25's Ryan Mahan joins us live from Jackson County with the latest. Ryan.
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here in front of the Omega Protein plant. It's fairly calm right now as all the workers have been sent home for the day, but that is not the case this morning as there was pure pandemonium after an explosion rocked the plant. This morning started out just as any other at Omega Protein in Moss Point, but around 9:30 things took a tragic turn for the worse as an explosion rocked the plant, and witnesses describe a scene of mass confusion.
Well, the one was, the first one I seen, it was laying down on the catwalk because he had fell through the top of the roof. And
officials responded to the scene quickly, and although a preliminary investigation is coming, city officials were able to make this statement.
One huge fish oil holding tank had exploded. Some contractors had been in there doing some repair work. At this time, it's like we have 1 fatality and 3 injured.
Jerry Lee Taylor II of Alabama has been identified as the worker who died, but in the initial aftermath of the explosion, his whereabouts were not immediately known.
They was running around saying there's somebody missing. Then after a while, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, they found this man. He was on top of one of the tanks.
With so many unanswered questions right now, how do investigators and Omega Protein proceed from here?
Right now the plant is closed. All the employees have been let loose to go home, so pending our investigation this afternoon, we should know more.
As far as employees and the friends of the victim go, they are still in shock and will live with the memories of this day for a very long time.
People gathered around, and one dude was over, asked me could I get some wet cold towel, and I went and got some cold water and cold towel and brought it to him.
In Moss Point, Ryan Mahan, News 25. News 25 spoke to the fire chief earlier today, who said that the cause of the accident is not entirely known at this moment. They were welding on top of the tower and then the explosion happened. OSHA has been contacted and they are expected to be here tomorrow morning. Live from Moss Point, Ryan Mahan, News 25.
Thanks, Ryan. Today's incident, unfortunately, is not the only time someone has died at this plant in Jackson County. 2
years ago, a man died in an industrial accident at the same facility. News 25's Mark Armstrong is live with more on this story. Mark.
Thanks, guys. Back in April of 2012, repairman Chris Aber, I should say maintenance man Chris Aber, was working here at the Omega Protein plant when he was killed in another industrial accident. Now, what happened at that time is that Aber was inside of a giant corkscrew conveyor belt type of device, and that device was turned back on while he was still inside welding. Now, shortly after the accident, Chris Aber's family erected a small memorial that stands just outside the front gate and still stands to this day. That family has filed a lawsuit on the behalf of a wrongful death of Chris Aber, and that is still in the courts. Here's what their lawyer had to say today about today's accident.
This is the 5th death involving Omega Protein in the last several years, and each one of those deaths leave behind families and loved ones, and they are each equally tragic.
Today, News 25 reached out to officials at Omega Protein about today's accident and about other accidents in the past, but they had no comment. Reporting live in Moss Point for News 25, I'm Mark Armstrong.
All right, thanks, Mark. Here's forecaster Nick Patrick with a quick look at your weather. Nick.
Well, hot temperatures could be a bit of an understatement. Take a look at today's highs out there, folks. 97 degrees for Gulfport, about 4 degrees above average highs for today. 94 for Biloxi. Humidity, though, much higher. Temperatures feeling close to 110 across for much of South Mississippi. A little bit cooler, a little bit further, and temperatures are still very hot out there in those low to mid 90s still. 90 degrees for the Kill, 92 in Biloxi, 94 for Gaucher right there. Very steady temperatures. Now, these are going to slowly start to change a little bit. Taking a look at the Doppler Edge radar, a few pop-up showers now. That's going to change about the next hour or so. We're going to see some more storms developing. Storms going to be early in this evening, and then we're going to see an overnight clearing effect as a cold front starts to slowly sweep through across South Mississippi, and that's really what we're going to be talking about over the next several hours. So some severe thunderstorms potentially with this. That threat not too big right now. We're going to be looking at just mainly some heavy rainfall with that, and I'll have a full update on your weather coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up after the break, Nick Patrick will have a detailed forecast, but first, here's a look at your tides for tomorrow.
The Weather Edge, brought to you by Mississippi Power. For hurricane safety tips and more, visit our Storm Center at MississippiPower.com. We're storm ready. Are you?
Well, taking a look real quick at some storm damage near Boston, a city near Boston dealing with a tornado. You see the extreme damage here, roofs blown off, lots of glass, and there's been reports of several injuries, no fatalities with this yet, but this system actually is starting to be, is just beginning, and it's going to be actually having an impact on our weather. Let's go and take a look at that Doppler Edge radar. Bringing it up now, and there we're seeing it, some swirling winds here near the northeast. Take a look at this, an area of low pressure slowly sliding from New York. You see it there tracking to the northeast. As it does, it's actually trailing a cold front along with it, sparking a little bit more severe weather. We're looking at severe thunderstorm watches and warnings really along the southeastern portion of the United States. This cold front stretching all the way from the northeast all the way through the United States, and you can see it pushing right there into Alabama and Georgia. Ahead of that cold front, some strong storms developing. So far, what we've been seeing, you can see it in Texas, Louisiana as well. They're dealing with some offshoots from this cold front as well. So far, we haven't seen too much. A few pop-up showers here and there. Other than that, we're staying mostly dry outside right now. A few more clouds associated with it, but that's going to start to change really over the next hour or so. As we pause Doppler Edge, you can see a few lightning strikes just to the north here in north of George County there. It's going to start to slowly track into South Mississippi. As it does, we could see some heavy rainfall associated with this, some strong thunderstorms, and it's all thanks to all this heat we had. Lots of heat and humidity out there for this thunderstorm to really generate some strong storms out there. 105 that feels like for Biloxi, 104 in Gulfport. A lot of moisture out there right now, folks, and as that cold front moves in, cold, dry air hitting this hot, moist air really could cause us a few problems here. Not really expecting anything on the severe side, just some strong thunderstorms, lots of lightning associated with it. Taking a look at the MDOT traffic cam, you can see fairly clear skies right now, still mostly sunny skies, 92. That dew point is very high though right now, 77 degrees the dew point. Once you get into the low 70s, that's when you're feeling miserable and oppressive outside, and that's why that feels like temperature almost 15 degrees above the actual temperature. Now, calm winds right now, this is all ahead of that cold front. We've been seeing it out of the south, bringing in that moisture, but as that cold front sweeps through, it's going to bring winds out of the north. Let's go and take a look at the future edge. You can see as it pushes through, storms developing really over the next hour or so to really around 9 o'clock. Those storms are going to start to die off, and as I mentioned, nothing severe associated with it, but as it sweeps through, we're going to start to see a major shift in the weather pattern, a big cool down with this. Now, temperatures aren't going to be really below average. We're still going to be hitting daytime highs in the 90s. Tomorrow morning, starting off in those mid-70s, we hit the 90s there for Tuesday, but then some cooler air out of the north just sinking in, and by Wednesday afternoon, we're going to be talking about very low dew points in those low 60s, so feeling much nicer outside compared to what we had today. It's going to feel nice outside, plenty of sunshine for the next several days as well before some more clouds build up. Now, overnight tonight, cool thanks to that cold front, 70 degrees in Picayune, 74 for Pass Christian there, so fairly on the cool side as we head into the overnight hours, 74 for Gulfport there. Very close to what we're going to be waking up to tomorrow. The storms clear out in the next few hours. Plenty of sunshine for Tuesday and Wednesday. Slight chance of showers we had later on in the week. Now, this cold air is really going to be dominating much of the northeastern part of the country. Really, the eastern half of the United States is going to be impacted by us, and that includes us. Some cool overnights ahead.
Well, a new small craft harbor may soon be coming to Gulfport. Discussions are still in the preliminary stages, but the harbor would mean a new and improved home for the Ship Island Ferry, Port Commission, Lighthouse, and more.
News 25's Alyssa Meisner breaks down what this harbor will mean for Gulfport and its tenants.
The Port of Gulfport is finding a way to serve not only its tenants, but the community as well. A new small craft harbor will be encompassed by a seawall and offer a fishing pier, gazebo, and lighthouse for locals and visitors to use for free.
Enhancing the breakwater, not only is it functional, it keeps that area safe, but ultimately putting it back into a situation where people can get out there and fish. We're giving another amenity back to the community.
Now some anglers sneak past fencing to fish off the dilapidated breakwall, but a new facility would provide a safe place to cast their lines. The harbor will also offer a new and improved home for the Ship Island Ferry, now tucked away next to Jones Park.
As you can see behind me, these boats are pretty big boats, and we are making as many as 3 to 4 round trips a day to the island. So we're in and out of here, and quite a bit. A little bit of maneuvering for these big boats.
Ferry captains say the tricky maneuvering comes on the weekend when they're attempting to back their boat out in this harbor, and many other recreational boats cause congestion.
We do have some congestion problems on weekends. Weekends in the summer are our peak period.
And there's not only overcrowding on the water, but in the parking lot as well.
There's a lot of user groups in the harbor now. You know, family reunions, farmers markets, concerts, and the parking is at a premium in here on the harbor right now.
Captain Scarmetta hopes negotiations continue so they can move and possibly expand operations on the water. In Gulfport, Alyssa Meisner, News 25.
There's still no word on what caused the YMCA fire last Wednesday. The state fire marshal was on the scene this morning, but no official ruling has been made. The building went up in flames Wednesday afternoon, and firefighters say the bulk of the flames were upstairs. They say it looks like it started in the attic, but are still unclear why it broke out in the first place. The cause should be determined sometime this week. Coming up, the city of Gulfport and the Humane Society have yet to come to contract terms. News 25 gives you a local woman's opinion. The Humane Society of South Mississippi is still trying to reach a financial agreement with the city of Gulfport.
News 25's Katarina Lukatich tells us why some residents feel it's so important.
After an extensive 2-week search, Dana Vittor discovered her lost puppy Denali was just 2 blocks away the whole time. Vittor says a neighbor found her dog and called animal control, and instead of scanning Denali's microchip and taking him in, a Gulfport police officer let the neighbor keep the dog.
All he had to do was call the Humane Society, because they'll still talk to him, and give him the number, and they would have given him who I am.
The city of Gulfport severed ties with the Humane Society a few weeks ago. However, both parties are trying to work towards an agreement.
I'm glad to see that they're still in talks.
As it stands, unless an agreement with the Humane Society is reached, the city of Gulfport is cutting their funds and instead giving the money to the Gulfport PD Animal Control.
The city has cited costs as their reason for going their separate ways, and so we're going to do what we can to get those costs down in a way that helps everybody, including the animals.
The Humane Society is confident in their ability to work with the city of Gulfport to maintain a good relationship.
We feel really strongly that we're moving in a good direction as far as contract negotiations go.
Vittor believes that had ties not been cut, Denali would have made his way home sooner.
Maybe if the financial relationship was better between the two, we wouldn't have had this to begin with.
Vittor tells News 25 she's just happy that Denali is back where he belongs.
Thank goodness, you know, kind, honest people, you know, did the right thing.
As for the Humane Society and the city of Gulfport, an agreement has not yet been made. In Gulfport, Katarina Lukatich, News 25.
News 25 reached out to the Gulfport Police Department. They did not have a comment.
The Humane Society of South Mississippi has partnered with Floor Trader and is asking for your help. The Humane Society has set up a wish list on their website. If you bring an item such as cat litter or dog food from that wish list to Floor Trader Gulf Coast, it will give you a gift certificate for $50 off your adoption fee. That deal goes through the end of this month. And that isn't the only deal the Humane Society is offering. They have a special going on this Thursday as well.
Thursday, we're celebrating National Mutt Day for the second year in a row with $25 adoptions on any of our mixed breed pets. That's cats or dogs. We love all of our animals here equally, but we love to celebrate the unique breeds that you can find in shelters. So on Thursday, July 31st, $25 adoptions basically on anything in the shelter.
Along with the pet, the adoption fee includes vaccinations, spay and neuter surgeries, microchip, ID tag, and 30 days of free pet health insurance.
Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, or MDEQ, may lose funding if the EPA moves forward with regulation changes. MDEQ receives grant money to conduct beach water monitoring so the public knows what beaches are safe to swim in. But if MDEQ cannot buy new testing equipment required by the regulations, EPA is threatening to take that funding away. The funding cuts would mean less frequent water monitoring and potentially swimmers entering beach water that's unsafe. However, many factors affect the quality of our beach water.
If there is a sewage lift station failure, if there is a power interruption associated with lift stations, or if there is just some other type of malfunction or break in a sewer line, that's definitely going to cause a direct impact on the beaches. And at that time, DEQ will issue a closure for those beaches.
Sewer leakage is just one more reason to continue frequent water monitoring. The EPA will make its decision on whether to cut monitoring funding by October 1st. Coming up on News 25, the dangers from dying in a hot car don't just happen in the summer months. Our medical minute is on the way.
Second Edge weather.
A new tropical wave has developed in the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to take a quick look at it. Invest 93L. You see that location, 9.8 degrees north, 33.8 degrees west. Still way away from the United States right now. Winds picking up a little bit. Right now, 25 miles per hour, so about 10 miles per hour off of becoming a tropical depression. You can see it moving west at about 14 miles per hour. This storm actually expected to become a tropical depression. It's about a 70% chance probability right now within the next 5 days. The models so far pushing it a little bit further to the north and towards the east coast. So as of right now, not expected to affect us. We're going to certainly keep a close eye on it. Let's go and take a look at the satellite imagery of it. You can see a very vast looking storm right now. Thunderstorm activity picking up on it a little bit of rotation as well, and that's why it's expected. Conditions are going to be favorable for some development with this storm. So we're going to keep an eye on it, certainly over the next several days as we head towards that. But as we take a little bit closer look at the United States, we're just dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. Let's go and take a look at the radar right now. We put it in motion. You can see a cold front sweeping through the southern part of the United States, cloud cover picking up ahead of it. It's hitting this warm, moist air that we've had all day, and as it does, you can see thunderstorms just firing off as it moves in. Some severe thunderstorm warnings for the a little bit further east. Right now, we're not expecting anything in the way of severe weather tonight. Just could see some strong storms with this, heavy rainfall, lots of lightning as well. So this storm just still pushing through to the south, and it should be through within the next 5 hours or so. So we're going to keep a close eye on it for tomorrow. A totally different day. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour, bringing in much cooler air. A lot of cold northerly air, drier conditions certainly out there. 90 degrees, and it is going to feel much closer to 90 than what we had today with those feels like temperatures in the triple digits. And then Wednesday, even cooler. Look at that, wake up to 70 degrees here along the coastline. Should be a great day Wednesday. Before Thursday and Friday, a few more clouds build up and temperatures stay fairly steady in those upper 80s for the rest of the week.
Hilton Hotel takes customer service to a whole new level. That starts our Consumer Watch. In a first for hospitality industry, Hilton is giving guests unprecedented choice and control over their hotel stay. Using its app, guests can check in electronically, choose their exact room, purchase upgrades, and make special requests before ever arriving at the hotel. The company says the feature will be available for more than 4,000 hotels across Hilton's portfolio of 11 brands by the end of this year. Next year, Hilton will begin rolling out technology that allows guests to use their smartphone as a room key. Call it a smart shoe. That Lecco company has created sneakers and insoles that actually give you directions. Users simply pair the insoles or shoes with a smartphone, then put in a destination. Then as you walk around, your left or right shoe vibrates to tell you which way to turn. The device also tracks your mileage and how many calories you burn. Both the shoes and insoles will be available later this year for around $100.
There have been several high-profile and tragic stories this summer of children dying in hot cars, but new research shows the danger is not limited to the hot summer months. That starts tonight's look at Medical Minute. Researchers at Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin, Texas, took temperature readings inside cars every single month of the year. Even on cooler days as low as 68 degrees, temperatures inside the cars reached 105. Experts say children can overheat much more quickly than adults due to their smaller size. Kids who are strong readers in elementary school may do better on IQ tests in high school. Researchers in the UK examined reading and intelligence tests taken by sets of twins throughout their school years. Those who had good reading skills by age 7 later did better on vocabulary and tests of verbal fluency and reasoning. Experts say this suggests that kids who are not doing well with early literacy may need extra intervention.
Nick, we'll have one final look at your weather forecast after the break. Plus, we'll drop in on a pair of high-flying daredevils. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Coming up at 6 o'clock on NBC Nightly News, the largest ever Ebola outbreak. Now 2 Americans on the front lines are infected. Experts say all it takes is an airplane ride here for it to spread.
2 extreme athletes carried out Turkey's first double wing suit jump. 2 athletes, 1 American and 1 Turkish, performed the dual wing jump over Dark Canyon, one of the biggest canyons in the world. They jumped off a helicopter about 5,000 feet in the air, flew for around 30 seconds and reached a speed of over 124 miles per hour. The athletes completed the jump by landing safely.
All right. Daring video there.
Might have trouble getting insurance, those couple guys. All right, Nick, final check of the forecast.
Yeah, quick check right now. Some storms potentially heading our way as a cold front sinks into the south. It is expecting just some rain and some lightning tonight, nothing in the severe category. We cool off nicely. We see some sunny skies Tuesday. Look at those cooler temperatures in the morning, 70 degrees there as we wake up Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Nick.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tonight at 10 o'clock.